So this is my original. This is like 1983 for me, right?
The one. That's the one.
I'm just looking over that side there. I got like a 𝗥𝗘𝗧𝗥𝗢 CRT TV, and then I got two VHS VCRs. I'm enjoying this. I do want to show you something else that's really vintage, right? So I'm enjoying this. This is the successor. This actually isn't the identical model, but if you remember that great movie Back to the Future.
Yeah, of course.
Previous model of this JVC camera was used in the first Back to the Future movie. So that's the one that Marty McFly is using over the shoulder to shoot video of Doc Emmett Brown when he's basically talking about his time machine in the DeLorean.
Legendary.
It is legendary. And so this is the same camera system, except it was the successor model, which was made to be more compact. So this was one of the very early examples of a proper handy cam. So you basically hold it like that to shoot, as opposed to having it on your shoulder.
I think I remember that. I must actually Google that. I'm gonna get a clip of that scene from the movie and actually put it into this podcast.
For some reason, I'm into like old audio visual gear. It's maybe because I don't only do like network and telecoms and stuff for industrial IoT, but I also am very into like electronic music, so synthesizers, recording technology, so recording studios. And more recently, and it's funny because when I was a lot younger, I didn't really have a good feel for photography or camera technology. It was only much later when I realized actually being able to include video with audio is important. So this is my original. This is like 1983 for me, right?
The one. That's the one.
Okay. I sent it about a decade ago. I sent it to Wales. I've got a buddy in Wales who repairs, and he basically does spectrums. And he sold me this. This is a 128K plus. So this wasn't the Spectrum Plus. This is the last computer that Sinclair manufactured before they sold the company to Amstrad.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a huge retro computing fan. Not only do I have a ZX Spectrum, I have like 5 ZX Spectrums sitting back there, and I bring them out. We like to also include them in some of the stuff that we do. So when I was doing we were doing some I.O.T evangelization about 7-8 years ago, and we took ZX Spectrums and added like via serial ports, and put Arduinos connected to them. And for trade shows and stuff, we'd have a ZX Spectrum that could tweet, for example, right? So we added a code, and it's just a way of showcasing how you could mix old and new technology.
Did you have a Commodore?
And then No, I was never into Commodores. I was like fully ZX Spectrum. I did have an Amiga once. I had a Commodore Amiga 500, and sadly, one of the NiCad batteries that was on the battery backup RAM, there was like an extension card. It leaked and it killed the entire board.
Oh, no. My cousin, who was I think 2 years older than me, he was like big into Commodore, and I was like, no ways, I'm a Spectrum guy. It was like the original Android Apple like thing.
Correct.
What I wanted to tell you about the JVC. So in the 80s, what I used to do was I had a JVC camcorder as well, my dad's. And I think it was like 8 millimeter film or something like that. And I used to use RCA's out and obviously put that onto a big VHS. What I used to do to try and edit, like cut pieces of the video together, was obviously have 2 video recorders. One was on record and pass the footage into the one, pause, swap the tape around. I even got to a point where I was cutting the tape and sticking the actual tape together with sellotape and letting that play. And that was my cut, was actually physical sellotape on the actual tape. My first versions of video editing.
I love it. It's funny. When I was a kid, no one in my family had like a camcorder or a handy cam. obviously VHS video was a big thing, right? And we all went down to the corner store to go rent movies and watch them at home. But I only got into the video stuff quite a bit later. But I was always into audio and recording with like cassette. And, you know, I'm just looking over that side there on my kind of like, I don't know if you see the...
Oh yeah, I see
I got like a pucker old CRT TV, and then I got two VHS VCRs. It's actually a Thomson, French brand.
Okay, never heard of Thomson.
Well, Thomson CSF. You never heard of CSF here? So the guys are pretty much in.
I may have heard of CFF. That sounds familiar, but
Thomson CSF became Thales. THALES, Thales. Thomson CSF are kind of notorious because they were involved in the arms scandal with certain politicians, right?
I remember. It's all coming back to me now.
Retro
tech. We gotta park that one to have a proper retro tech conversation.
You bet. No, I'm looking forward to that because I think there's a couple of interesting odds and ends here. I've got a 1/4-inch reel-to-reel tape machine up on my shelf there, which I still use.
Oh, awesome.
And
did you have Technics speakers and a Technics amp?
I have actually Wharfdale speakers at home and a Pioneer amp. Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of vinyl and turntables, etc. I had a Technics. That was always my dream, was a Technics SL1200 turntable. You know, so those kind of stuff, that's legendary.
And you balance the needle correctly, put the right weight on it.
Correct.
We're definitely giving our age away.
Correct.